Hey everyone, Asha here from Garden Days. As you can see, I'm trying to get my drip system finished because we will be leaving soon. So I want to make sure that everything gets watered while we're gone. It's definitely a lot of work and it's a warm day today. That's why I have my big sun hat on. Always helps protect my face and neck. That's the first thing that usually get burnt out in the garden. So once I get this all done, I have a few plants that I want to plant out before we go on our little mini vacation. Look, we have a little garden snake. It was under a piece of wood. I scared it. Doesn't want anything to do with me. We're coming to the end of day 2 and I'm having to redo everything. It's just a mess. Things keep on popping and it was the way it was laid out. So what I'm doing is just laying the line and then putting the drip emitter straight on the lines. This way, hopefully nothing will burst. We'll see. I'm gonna try to work on it this evening and through the night and see if I can't get this done. It's just much cooler this time of day. It's hard to work midday, it's so hot. And there was a plant sale. I got 9 bark, a whole bunch of evergreens, and a few other ones for Scythia. They were all half price, so I couldn't pass that up. And I still have to plant those. So I might try to get these planted tonight as well.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this too hard. And I wonder where you are.
Good morning, everyone. It's been a long couple of days, but I think I got everything together. Whew. That was definitely a struggle. Good morning to you too, bird. The water has cut on, and I'm testing it out this morning. This is actually the second morning I've tested it out. It ran good yesterday, so I'm just making sure nothing pops today. And it looks like everything is working. Right now, I just want to show you the watering system, and then I'll show you the plants that I got planted in. Good morning, Moo Moo. Good morning, Kellogg. I did change a few things. I only have 2 zones instead of 3. And on zone 1, there are only 2 lines now. This now is line 1, this whole side over here, and line 2 is all over here. And it's seeming to keep pressure because everything's on drip, not on spray. And I don't see anything going wrong. Everything seems to be working good. And also, when I checked it, it was using less water. Because when I started this journey last season, I was using about 100 gallons per watering. And then I got that dialed down to 60. But now it is only, between all of them, going to be using 45 gallons. And that's good for as big as the garden has gotten. Okay, line 1 is done. So line 2 should have cut on. This is this whole side over here. The deck side is what I call it. See if it's working. Huh. I just heard it cut on. Okay. Sometimes it takes a second to pressurize. Yep, it's working. Nice. Takes a minute for it to get down here. This is the end of the line, but I hear all the air getting out of the lines. Now remember, this is only the second time that I've run this system like this, so there's probably still some air in it. And I have it running for 5 minutes each zone. And I find that's sufficient. Well, we'll see, I guess. I'll test it for a couple weeks and hopefully nothing dies. Okay, let's check down here. This is towards the end, near the hammock center. Yeah, it's going. It's drip, drip, drip. That's dripping as well. Is the Juju bee getting watered? It is. All this is getting watered as well. Amazing. Let me see if the deck plants are getting watered. Is water coming out? It is. Nice. Just getting watered. Yep. Drip, drip. So now I only have 2 zones with 2 lines apiece. So this whole courtyard is 1 zone, and then the vegetable garden is 1 zone. Seems like everything is being watered in here as well. Let's see. Hold on. Yep, drip, drip. Nice. Yep. Okay. As you can see, no more plants in my planting station, because I got everything planted. Hear the pump on. See how much it has gone through. 26 gallons so far. Okay, so I'm calling it Blueberry Hill. It's my blueberry section. Should be cutting on. I had some issues with this. Some of the lines had blown. There still seems to be a lot of pressure going on there, so should probably just cover that up so it doesn't squirt out, but actually it seems good right now. Everything is working proper. The mint and the peppermint, well, sweet mint and peppermint are getting watered. And I still need to plant something in here, but this looks good. Certain things like the raspberries here, I added extra drip emitters because there's an extra line running through here to go to the blueberries, and also the drip tape that's here. But I don't know, they just look dry. I think they're struggling because they didn't get enough water. So hopefully they rebound. It seems like they are at the bottom here. It's a new flush of green. So I did put, like I said, drip emitters on each one of these just so they get extra water. Kellogg, are you following me around, huh? You want to do the garden tour with me after this? No, you're too busy looking for rats and lizards. Okay, it's time for the drip tape. The drip tape just cut on, and it went through. The drip tape just cut on, and the system went through about 35 gallons, so it might go through less, because I have turned down the time for the drip tape. I just want to see how it's going to do. I used to have it at 8 minutes, but I put it down to 6 minutes, so let's see how things are doing. As long as nothing is blown or any connections coming loose, then I'm happy. It seems like the tape is filling up quite nicely. Now I don't have all lines on, like these lines here are not on. Where is it? Where's that bad? Where's that bad rat? Where is it? Huh? This is on, the big row is on. And then I still have to put some garden rows in here, which I'll do later. And this row is on here. I still need to put in 2 things right here. But I went ahead and turned on the system. Well, that's day 2 for the system and nothing is popped or blown. Since I've added things together and made bigger systems, I think there's less pressure, so it's working much, much better. Now it's just a waiting game to see if anything struggles. I can tell if things look like they need to be watered more, a little more time maybe, or just maybe another dripper. So I'll definitely try to keep a watchful eye out on the plants after I get back. We're only going to be gone probably a week, so everything should be fine on the drip system. Well, it's quite a windy day today. The automatic watering system just got done and it used 42.7 gallons. At 43 gallons each time, if I watered about 3 times a week, that'd be about 129 gallons. And out of the, let's say 2,500, because I wouldn't drain it all the way. It is a 2,600 gallon tank. But say 2,500, that would be about 4.5 months, a little over 4.5 months that I would get out of this system. So I think that's pretty good. Like I said, I just have to keep an eye on things and hopefully everything gets a sufficient amount of water. But I did choose drought tolerant plants once they get established. So that should help. All right, I did plant this section out over here. I've got a juniper there, azalea there, another juniper, and I put the rhododendron back there so that way it gets more of a shady location. Someone told me that it was too sunny where it was, and I feel like it was starting to get a little bit dry, so I did move it. I have Prince and Princess Holly here. I did add this winter creeper in. I love the variegated leaves in it. It's beautiful. Then another juniper. And I've got a forsythia there, an evergreen, and a 9 bark. Seems like my kiwi vine is struggling. I saw some green growth earlier in the season, but now there's just nothing there. I don't know what's going on. So if anybody has any suggestions or you've grown a kiwi vine, let me know in the comments. These should help to fill out this space here. Well, everything should once it gets established. I've got daylilies here. They're on their 2nd year, so they're just kind of slowly creeping, not really doing anything. This one is actually bloomed, but there's not a lot of foliage. This one has a lot of foliage, but no blooms yet. Then I planted the honeysuckle here. I have the Rose of Sharon here, winter creeper, another Rose of Sharon. And this sitting area is looking good. Look, I have my first rose right here. Isn't that beautiful? Actually, there's a lot of buds coming up. I did just fertilize it, so that's probably why. Looked like it was struggling for a second. And I did add some soil acidifier to that. There's a valerian there that's just now starting to come up. And a red hot poker. Doesn't look very hot pokerish, but it will. I planted those last year. Then we have the pot of evergreens and the holly. And then the penstemon is starting to bloom. I did plant 2 native bushes in these pots here, but they ended up dying. I guess they went through transplant shock. So I just added an evergreen juniper in. These were only $10 at Walmart. I think they look nice. And the chicks and hens, I've never seen them do this. This is weird. I don't know if this is the end of its life cycle or what's going on here, but they've kind of stretched out. I thought they'd just get kind of fat and round, but I haven't been watering it regularly, and it's not on drip, so that might have something to do with it. And the other one's doing the same. The Desert 4 o'clock is taking over this spot like I said it would. It's looking nice and healthy with its flowers that are closed. Usually they open up later in the day. And I saw my first hummingbird moth this season. Very cool. What you doing this morning, Moo Moo, huh? Are you chillaxing? The Rocky Mountain penstemon is about done blooming, so I'm going to shear these back and see if they'll come back. I don't know. This is only my second season with them. And I was thinking about transplanting these daylilies. They just don't seem to like their spot. Their leaves are kind of dried out. So maybe I'll find a different location for these. I have a bare spot here I need to figure out what to do with. I did put daisies, but the only one that seems to have liked it is this one that's in the shade. I think they prefer a shady spot because I have some other ones and they're doing much better than this. So over in this section here, we've got the plum that's looking good. It's almost completely leafed out. This is only its second year. And I have the lilac there. It's going on its third year. And then this rose, I have one branch that I need to cut out, but it's looking good other than that. And the Japanese barberry right below it is looking good. The Russian sage is looking good over here. I just planted in this 9 bark, and everything's been newly planted besides the lilac. So it's going to take it a minute to get established. The red tip photinia. And then I've got a St. John's wort there. And the yew, I've noticed, is turning a little brown on the other side. So I don't know if it's just going through a little bit of transplant shock, but hopefully it'll bounce back. I probably cut out all the dead stuff, if you can see on this side. Maybe that'll help it. My 3-in-1 stone fruit, this is its second year, so hopefully it'll start to look better next year. We did get a late frost, and it killed all the blooms on all my fruit trees. And one thing, this Oregon grape is coming back. I thought it was dead. I was going to pull it. Then I saw little leaves starting to come out, and I was like, oh, great, awesome. I'm glad it didn't die. This sitting area I haven't really done much with. I do have a viburnum there. It has one little leaf on it. I thought it was dead. But I might transplant that because this is going on its third year, and it does not seem to like that spot. It's struggled. Mostly everything over here has struggled, so maybe I need to get in here and re-amend the soil, pull all this mulch back. I haven't really worked too much on this sector here, so it's just got the native plant, which is a salt bush, and more daisies that do not like their spot. Maybe I'll get something more sun-loving and move these to a shadier location. Then we have strawberry here, which last year loved this spot, but I might move this into the vegetable kind of food garden. I definitely still have a lot of room to add plants, but it was just getting the drip system working and figured out. But I've got 2 jujubes, like I had mentioned earlier. This is one, and another one is over there. And they're looking good. They're flushing out. The drip's working. So in this sector here, I had a blackberry, and there was leaves on it at the beginning of the season. I don't know if something came and ate the leaves, or it's just not liking that spot. So I might actually move all the blackberries into the garden. Like I said, I was going to in the beginning. They'll probably just do better. And since I moved this nectarine here, it's kind of struggled, and the new growth has definitely died off. But there is still life in it, so I'll give it a couple weeks, and if I see something, then I'll leave it, but if not, I'll replace the tree. But the main stalk is still alive. I'm glad I've got most of those gardens planted out over there, but there are still some gardens I need to work on. Here I've got a jujube. Now this blackberry I won't move because it seems to like its spot. It's completely flushing out. I don't know why the other ones just are not, so hopefully they're not dead and I can move them to a different spot. But there's the other jujube, and I just need to plant out this sector better. What I was doing is waiting for the guard to come back up, but it doesn't look like it's going to, so I'm just gonna plant something else in its place. So this garden has been a problematic area for me. Anything that I've planted here just doesn't seem to survive or do well. Maybe I need to go in and re-amend this whole bed here, because it is under the juniper, which is probably why it's struggling. So I just need to find plants that will do well under juniper. And I know there are some because I've planted under other junipers. Got the raspberry. It's got some blooms on it. So hopefully I get some raspberries. But I think it needs to get more established. And the lavender's not doing too much. It looks kind of dry actually. We have the dianthus that's finally blooming, and look how beautiful the globe mallow looks. This is a native, I don't even have to do anything. This one really likes its spot here, nestled in between the driftwood fencing. More dianthus in bloom. Hopefully this will get better throughout the years because they are perennial, and we got the pincushion flower. More of the globe mallow. Hopefully that'll get established and fill this area out because I don't have to take care of it. Not a lot going on here except the natives like the cactus and the 4 o'clock. The rest of the plants, I planted about 3 things here. The yarrow got attacked by little grasshoppers this season. All of them did. And they just look awful. Just gonna cut them back and be done with them. Hopefully they'll flush back. Yeah, this sector I need to probably add more color into. We've got the sedum that is coming up, and I need to trim back the butterfly bush. And it looks like it's struggling too, but this is only its 2nd year. I planted it last year, but yeah, I need to cut all this dead stuff back. And I think that yarrow's done, so I need to cut that back as well. Look how big this 4 o'clock looks, but it has no blooms on it yet. Showed this in the last video. The deck area still looks good, and all the plants that I planted out still look nice and healthy. They are on drip. I'm sure that helps. Just added drip into this bed so I can go ahead and plant it out. I did have 2 trees on here, but I planted them late season, and I thought that they shouldn't need much water, and winter time was coming, but I was wrong. They ended up dying off. But it's okay because I got them at 75% off and they were pretty cheap, so that was an inexpensive fail. The 2-in-1 peach is looking good other than this limb here. I need to probably cut this back. Looked like it got some winter damage. Yeah, it did. So I'm gonna probably cut this back and let this limb take over. Everything is just going on its 2nd year, so things are just starting to get established. I have the yarrow here, dianthus that I planted by seed. Another DayZ, doesn't seem to like its spot there. And that's a potentilla with white flowers. We have another red hot poker here, no blooms yet, but the one over by the new plum tree is blooming and starting to look good. Look at that, isn't that cool? Love that flower. And this is a native back here that I'm just gonna let to go to seed, and hopefully it fills out that area. Now these daisies over here are starting to bloom. They seem to like this spot. So I don't know what's going on with that. So maybe I'll just retransplant the other ones. And then we have a small patch of comfrey here. So this is my fig, and it's going on year 3. And it doesn't look like it's doing much, but the root system should be getting big under there, and it just dies back all the way to the ground. I did try to protect it this winter, but yeah, it didn't seem to help. It died back to the ground. So hopefully something becomes of it. We have a Granny Smith apple here going on its 2nd year. This was just a twig when I first got it, but I'm glad it's finally starting to branch out. So that's nice. Then another red hot poker. This is phlox that I didn't have to plant. It just came up naturally. It's a native here. And they do sell this at the nursery, so I was thinking of adding more. It's very drought tolerant and doesn't need much care. It's beautiful flowers too. Can't remember if this is a sage or a valerian. Anyways, I've noticed a couple of these. It looks like they're struggling or not coming back, but now that I'm looking at it, I might be getting some rabbits in the garden that are grazing on certain things. I don't know, maybe I'll put a basket over this and protect it a little bit so it has a chance to leaf out. I have a lime green heuchera that's doing well here, and a hosta, but I do have them protected. I have another hosta, but I didn't protect it, and it looks like it's been eaten up. And another forsythia here. I might end up moving this. I'm just gonna see how it does here. It was just a test run, but I know it might not be enough sun. There's a dogwood here, same situation. I was just testing it out and seeing, but I might move this to a sunnier location and put something else in this area. Now this valerian doesn't look like it's been chewed upon, and it's already starting to put out little blooms. I am trying to get evergreens in my pots. I just feel like they'll do better and I won't have to plant these planters out every year. And I like it. I like the look of it. Last but not least, we've got the veggie garden. I showed you the raspberries that look like they're struggling. Oh, that wind. And the only thing I really wanted to show you in here that's really changed, y'all have seen the blueberries, and this is the asparagus patch, but I finally got the berries over here planted in, put them in alphabetical order so I'll remember them, and got the blackberries the first 4, and then the raspberries are the last 2. This was the first apple tree that we planted on the property. It's a gala, and I think it's going on its 4th year. Last year I had 1 apple on it. Since we got that late frost this year, it killed off all the blooms and there's no sign of any fruit. But they do say it can take 3 up to 5 years or more for a fruit tree to actually start producing, especially in the high desert dry area like we're in. At the last row, the horseradish looks good. The figs are starting to come up, and the honeyberries are looking good. Very healthy. It seems like they've got some new growth going on. Well, I'm so glad to finally gotten the drip system working, and hopefully it stays this way from this point on. And I hope y'all enjoyed the garden tour. Oh, one thing. Right next to the rhubarb, I did plant the gold flame honeysuckle, and I'm hoping that will cover this whole thing and bring in pollinators. I do want to add 2 more plants here in this empty spot. I did grow, what did I grow here? I grew cucumbers last year on the other side. These were green beans. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put here yet. But whatever it is, I want it to be perennial. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video and garden tour here at the end. Things are doing well, and I'm glad to be taking a break because we're getting into the warmer weather, and it's just gonna be nice to get away, go camping in the forest. So don't forget to check out my other channel, which is Pandamonium. There'll be a link in the description, and we're gonna go escape and have some fun. But anyways, today is Tuesday. We'll be leaving Thursday. That gives me a couple more days just to look over things and make sure things are working properly. When I get back from my vacation, what I wanna do is work on this dry riverbed here, get rid of some of the grass that's going to seed, and also put in more stones, larger stones and smaller rocks, just to go all the way down. And I still need to add in the pipe over there. I need to bury in these lines that are in the pathway. I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me. Hopefully we'll see you next time here on Garden Days. Don't forget, if you want to check out more videos, they'll be right over here. Or if you want to subscribe, it's right there. Bye, y'all. Mwah.